Jamie McNicholas grew up in the United Kingdom, where soccer was at the center of everything. Coming to the States for college gave him a new perspective when he found himself surrounded by people, including his future wife, who loved Jesus. Their faith made a difference in Jamie's life. Today, Jamie coaches kids from first grade to those heading for college. But he cares about helping them learn who they are as much as helping them to be successful on the soccer field.
I grew up, as you can tell from the accent, in England. I was raised by two parents and lived with my brother, and all we knew my whole life was just soccer from a young age. That's all we played. And it's partly to do with the culture over there and just the environment and the community that you're raised in. It just becomes who you are. To the point where when I was 16, I was offered they call it a scholarship, so it's a youth contract at a professional club so when I was 16 to 18, I played there, was paid for doing that, and it just became my life. And then at 18, I was actually released, so I wasn't offered a new contract, and I found myself working in a grocery store, which I loved, as you can tell. And then I was playing part-time, so semi-professional. And that's where I got connected with a guy who kind of worked in the industry of American college scholarships. He spoke to me about the opportunity of coming over here and living that life and getting my education, because that's not something you can really do in England. You can't play full-time and develop at the same time as do your education. So I did that after a lot of talk with parents about it, and I ended up at a small school in North Carolina on the East Coast. And it was completely different to what I was used to. It was small, it was kind of in the middle of nowhere. And then I also met my wife there. She grew up in Northwest Indiana, and she ended up in the same place, which, you know, we talk about all the time. I fully believe that was God too. She played volleyball there, and her life, again, completely intrigued me to understand what it is like to be a Christian, and what it is like to know God. She ruled her life through the Bible, and always kind of related her life to what it says in the Bible, and it just completely intrigued me. And from that point on, with definitely a lot of hiccups and a lot of, you know, downtimes and questions and figuring that out for myself, I became a Christian. And then fast forward in, I think it's 6 years now, I can now just see God's hand in my life, which I never realized before. So today, I work in a school, and through the day I'm like a study hall / cover teacher. But the majority of my kind of work experience is through a soccer coach. So in the evening I'll see probably 4 to 5 players a night. And then that's also comes with helping my older players with college recruiting. I coach players that are as young as like 8 years old all the way up until the time where they graduate in college, like 21, 22. And I've always seen it as just work, and it's soccer, it's something I enjoy. Until probably a year ago, where I really started to see a bigger picture and understand God's reason for having me in that environment. And that was just to love the kids as Jesus does us. I remember one time with one of my younger players, it really opened my eyes, because at the beginning of a session I would just see them run in with just so much joy to just have an hour session with myself. I even just see that with my older players in a completely different way, but it's very easy for them, once getting to know them, to kind of open up and kind of talk to me about certain things that are sometimes not even soccer related, but I can really start to see how God gives me an opportunity to speak into their life. There are numerous, thousands of people that do what I do across America in general, and one of the big reasons of late that I've really tried to separate what I do to other companies and individuals that do exactly my job role is I really pride myself and hold myself accountable on holding relationships way more important than results. I completely understand that's why I get paid to produce results in players. That's why they come to me, to get results. But Like I said before, growing up in a very intense soccer environment where I learned quickly that it's harsh. You know, if you're not performing on the field, if you are not developing the way they want you to develop, you are quickly thrown to the side, and it can be devastating. It becomes an identity for people that they are a soccer player. So the biggest reason I value relationships is ultimately providing that relationship and someone that a player can trust and enjoy coming to naturally just makes them want to develop, improve, which therefore provides results as an end goal. And if I can continue to do that with players around me, it just makes such a massive difference to the individual. And sometimes it's not necessarily me speaking to them and talking to them about God, but it really is just giving them an experience and a relationship with someone that they may not have elsewhere, that just says, I love you, I care about you, no matter how fast results and improvement are coming. And just the response you get from these children is, it provides so much fulfillment. Just to show these players that there is somewhere you can go where I try to, love them as much as Jesus loves us. This is my Emmaus Road.